is encouraging me to actually do it. So do it more, which was my intent. So
Up to 11 now. Today I just published my 11th one.
awesome.
And
Awesome.
so I'm trying to do them in specific neighborhoods. That way, when people say homes for sale in Creekmore, there'll be 50 videos of me in Creekmore. Homes for sale in Lake Winnebago, kind of these, or like the Prairie View, the new neighborhood and stuff like that. When people are Googling these kind of named neighborhoods, then my name will pop up 50 times on there. It's kind of like what your guy was telling us.
If and one thing that's different about us doing YouTube versus somebody else, like I follow some hikers and stuff, is they really want to get lots of subscribers, lots of followers, lots of people watching them because they're focused on potentially making money off advertising and stuff on YouTube. For real estate, our goal, for the most part, I don't think is worrying about making a few bucks a month on ads on our videos. It's really more about getting people to feel like they know us. And so you don't have to have 200,000 views and 100,000 subscribers. It's really more about getting those people who are curious, serious about real estate in your area, wherever you're shooting, and who will call you when they need you. And so I know if you watch YouTube video guys, gurus who are not in our niche, it can kind of seem like, oh, I've got 47 subscribers, and most of those have been there for a while. Um, so my goal is less focused on that and more focused about consistently getting video out. So I asked Gemini, which is of course Google and which owns YouTube, I asked it to name the top. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm playing with this microphone today. Cool. I asked it to tell me the top 10 most popular real estate video channels in the KC market. Kyle Talbot, who's with KW, was number one. Mojo, which I'm sure Lonnie knows their names. They're KW agents too. It's a team. I forget their names. They're like number two. I forget who number three was. Then there's a woman named Anita Cordell. She's like on the Kansas side. And then the fourth one was not an agent. Or pardon me, the fifth one was not an agent. It was a company. I can't remember what it was. And so I asked ChatGPT, or Gemini, I asked it, I said, if I were to put out 2 to 3 10 to 15 minute videos every week, how long would it take me to be in the top 20 YouTube channels for realtors in Kansas City? I'm curious, how long do you guys think it said?
30 days.
It's not too far off. It does take a little while for YouTube to learn about you. So it's within 6 months, it could be in the top 20.
Okay.
Because the problem is a lot of agents get started and then they quit. Rach, the realtor, she's out there in Kansas City. She used to be a news anchor or news something. So she's pretty comfortable in front of the camera. She used to put out a lot of stuff. She doesn't anymore. There's another guy, Sean something. He was putting out quite a bit of content for a while with EXP. Now he's got out of the business, and you'll see a lot of that. So there's an opportunity. It's pretty cheap or free. And I'd encourage you to check it out. I want to share a screen with you. I won't kill this. I won't talk about this the whole time. I promise. So I'm going to share.
Oh, hey, Paul.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was kind of caught off guard, I just didn't expect whenever we were meeting last time. I got an echo. But he said what, like 72% of people will
Did I lose you guys?
research on YouTube whenever they're looking for their home. And when he was saying they're looking for their home, Instagram, TikTok are for.
I lost you there for a minute.
And Instagram are.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but we're echoing.
Really? I wonder why. Is it different now? How about now? Is it any different?
You've always sounded fine. It was just us echoing.
Huh, weird. All right. Can you see what's on the screen now? The South Carolina home tours guy?
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So if you look at his last video, he's looking at higher price points. Some of these are over 1 million and 7 million. But you look at his last video a month ago, 175,000 views, right? And then just a year ago, he had 11,000 views. But the name of his channel, South Carolina Home Tours. People watch the HGTV and all these shows because they like seeing homes that they probably can't afford. And some of them might be able to afford them. But you look at his channels, this is just like Coach Aaron, the guy whose book we've been talking about with this group. It's simple. He's putting the price because that's attractive, putting the house, a picture of the house, which is kind of edited a little bit to be prettier, and he's getting people watching 51,000. Then you see 6,000, 3,700. The numbers are all over the place, but people are tuning in to watch them. And the numbers are like almost, I think it's over 50% of people are watching these kind of videos on their TV. They're not just like Josh sitting on the toilet watching it on their phone. So, I mean, there are opportunities out there to get to know people, and more importantly, to get them to know who you are and watch you on YouTube. And a lot of them, one of the agents we were talking about in this group, guy gets to a house and the missus gives him a hug like she's known him for years. And it was his first time to meet them. But she'd watched a whole lot of his videos and felt like she knew him. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to the group screen, but I just want to share that with you. So we're going to meet again here. I got to get with the group, figure out when we're available. That's the trickiest part with us, is figuring out a time where you can get 5 agents or so to get together for an hour. But so I'm curious, who's YouTube curious and maybe scared to get in there? Sandy, awesome.
I think I'm
A
scared
lot
of
of
the
this.
time commitment, Paul. Like the editing. I don't know how to edit. I don't know, like I can make a video, but then I don't know how to edit it, I guess.
Cool. Well, that's one thing with this guy. His name's Aaron Kuha, Cuha. He's in, I think, California or Vegas, and he's one of Tom Ferry's top coachings. He's not in production anymore, but he just wrote a book just a couple months ago, put it out. Simple. I don't remember the title, but I think it's that crazy simple YouTube or something like that. And the idea with his video, his class that he's teaching is, we walk through the house with our phone, maybe with a microphone. These are like $70. There's 2 of them. And you walk through the house, phone this way, because it's a longer form video, and you talk about a house, just like you're showing your friend in person. So you stand outside, you talk about the neighborhood, you talk about maybe the school district, whatever. You go inside, you walk through the house, you point out the good, bad, the ugly. If it's new construction, that's even better. There's not a lot of ugly, right? And you talk about the details. You take 15 minutes, 10, maybe you start off with 10, but 15 minutes or so, and you talk about it. And then you have it on your phone. You're not stopping. You don't stop and stuff. If you stumble over your words, you're human. You just keep going. Then you get it out, you get home. You hopefully took a picture of the house while you were outside, especially if it's not your listing. You wouldn't have that necessarily. You get that picture, put it in Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever. Say, make me a thumbnail for YouTube, and say, edit, make it look a little prettier, but don't make it look fake. Don't change anything, and put the price on it. And I like to put it in a gold font or something, and that's pretty much the editing. And when you go into YouTube Studio, which is free, you can put it all together in there. You can record some background music if you want. Most people don't. And then this is where it's a little work is involved. You need to find out the best SEO stuff for the captions and the captions that go below it. And then you post it. And generally, once you figure out those captions, which Gemini could help you with, put it on somewhere where you can just copy and paste it every time. And most people aren't putting the address of the home. They aren't putting a lot of information. They would put the listing agent, and that's it. Because the idea is you want people to contact you. Where's this house at? Can you tell me more about the house? Whatever. And then of course make sure it's compliant because Darren's on here. Make sure your phone number, office number, all that good stuff's on there. Um, and and put the video out. As Jake mentioned, maybe half an hour. And
Is there a way to
so
share
this
my
approach,
screen? I literally just did
sure,
one this morning with all those prompts.
sure, go for it.
I can show you guys how simple it is. Let's see here. How do I do that? Share.
Start share. Yeah, it was a little more complicated than I thought it'd be, but you got it right away.
Can you guys see it?
Now, did you shoot that vertically or horizontally?
Hold on here. You guys did it share my screen? Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay. So here was one that I made this morning. So I uploaded the thing, create me a thumbnail for this. I give it the highlights. I didn't know we weren't supposed to do the address and stuff in there.
That's okay.
And like I messed up on that one because I put her stuff in there instead. And so I said, change it to me. And literally I just upload the photo, create me a thumbnail. Let's see if I got a better one up here. Yep. I said, create me a thumbnail for this one. I give it that. And then it creates this dude that looks kind of like me-ish. So
That's the tricky part.
I say, update it with my photo. And then updated it. I said, create a title for it. Gives me that.
You're in Chat GPT or Gemini?
I'm on chat. So
Okay.
I copy that and I put it on my YouTube page. So whenever we come here, I'll go create.
This is
Upload
YouTube
video.
Studio.
Yep. I just go to YouTube and then I go to my channel and I'll airdrop the video from my phone to here. I click it. I come over here. I copy that, put that in the title. And then I will ask for a description of it. And then it lists like not all these are my listings, so it does all the legal stuff here. I copy that, paste that there, and then I'll come down here and it'll have tags because you said that those were real important. And so then I'll have it create me tags and then it's separated by commas. And I copy that, paste, post. I mean, it's less than the edit. I mean, the 10 to 15-minute video is the longest part. This part takes less than 10 minutes.
Once you get the stuff figured out. And chat helped you with most of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it did everything for me. I just said create a thumbnail for me and then it would create it. And then if I needed to add or adjust anything, I will, and then it saves it for later. So the first one probably took me 10 minutes to do, and now they take a couple minutes.
So there's an agent in Big Bear. I think it's California. Her name is trying to
With
find
their
her name
finger
here.
gestures.
Yeah, Rachel. Yeah, living in Big Bear, I think is her channel, and she sticks with the more simple thumbnails, just the price, and so people are watching her channel. She's getting lots of calls, and a lot of business just from putting out simple videos like that. So, but I don't want to kill the whole hour on that. I appreciate you sharing stuff, Jake. There's a really good opportunity there, and utilizing some AI. I'll share the book in the group after the call. He goes through how to fix that SEO optimization stuff. I don't even know the right words. He tells you how to do all that stuff and how to just do how to get all the right stuff in there. He has a whole like 6-week class on this, but it's within the Tom Ferry ecosystem, and I can't figure out how to share the videos publicly. Otherwise, I'd do that. But basically, it was every other week for 12 weeks. And he gave us a step-by-step thing, like what your first 10 videos should be. And it was pretty interesting how much success people have had with it. So, so I wanted to ask you guys, one of the biggest things in our Facebook group, someone's always asking for a professional for fixing something. And it seems like I know in the past, Lonnie and Amber, probably Amber, made a like a little book of a lot of their preferred people. You know, they've got a lot of rentals and stuff, and some of the other guys do too. And you tend to have to use people more often, so you get to experience good, bad, and quality people. And I think it seems like there's an opportunity for us to get to know individually, get to know some professionals in the market, whether you're living Lee Summit, or Adrian, or wherever. I think we all need to figure that out. And I know, ladies, it can be uncomfortable sometimes to call a plumber and say, "Hey, can we meet for lunch so I can learn about your business?" Maybe grab another agent or two and figure out a plumber who someone referred and say, "I just want to meet someone in person for an hour over coffee, lunch, and learn about your business and see how I can help you with your business." And very few of them will tell you no. If they tell you no, they're probably too busy and aren't going to be great for your clients anyways. I highly encourage you to make an effort to do that. And you can ask ChatGPT, "Hey, what are some good questions I should ask somebody?" And and really go with the idea of providing them potential business. How can I help your business? Then they're going to ask you about your business and what your clients might need. And if you're newer in the business and don't have a lot of clients yet, that's okay. Still meet some people and tell them, "Hey, I'm newer. I just want to have some solid people who I can say I've met face to face and who I can refer to people." And I think it's really worthwhile to do that. And you know, if you get to the coffee place before them, you can just buy yours and you don't have to buy theirs. It's a good little trick too. So, any thoughts on that? I know some of you guys have been around here a while and have your networks of people. Lonnie, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, in today's world, if you just want to, list a house or show up buyers' houses, that's great. But to build a sustainable big business, you kind of have to be a little deeper than that and be solution oriented for people with quality contractors. And that's a big part of what we do. I'm excited when I walk into a house and we don't need to employ our people. I don't need to send the electrician, plumber, roofer, and all these painter and all these people by. It's becoming rare that we don't have to go down that path. But boy, having that tool in your tool belt and that you're the solution to their problems, half the stress that sellers are under is they just don't know what to do. I don't know what I need, what needs to be done. And then when you tell me what needs to be done, I don't know who to call to get it done. So we try to land on both of those. We're going to not only tell them where to focus their energy and money, but we're also going to give them the solution for that.
Because the last thing you want is your client doing a lot of poor DIY stuff or hiring someone who's going to make it more frustrating for them. I mean, that part of our job, the way I see it, is reducing the stress and anxiety for our clients when they're going through what can be a stressful process. And if we have resources that we know we trust, maybe even who will take payment at closing, if we have a good relationship with them in some situations, it can be even better for our clients. So you can meet people in places like the chamber. You can also meet people through referrals from our office, or even Facebook groups or something, community groups. You'll see people suggest people all the time. Just like when someone asks for a realtor, they get 150 comments tagging all these realtors. And that seems to be a waste of time generally trying to contact that person. But that's a different story. So I just want to encourage you to meet some people. If you're not comfortable with it, partner with someone else, and or holler at me if you want to. I'm meeting for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to meet with a friend of mine who owns Mary Maids. College Hunks owner is probably going to be there. Who else? I don't know. We got like 6 or 7 of us. We're going to meet for lunch tomorrow. We used to be in a networking group together. Now we're not, but I just threw it out. Hey, let's grab lunch. And we're meeting at Tara's at noon. So meeting these people, having them in your pocket is so worthwhile. Same with Ron and Jordan or whoever you use for inspections. Try to get a coffee with them or something outside of actually a project. Who's got some ideas there? Anybody?
I'll add something to that, Paul. We're all searching for a smooth transaction as well. So when we're done, we now have not only the ability to get a 5-star rating from the people, which we all know is critical. And if you're closing deals and not going after that, I don't know what the hell you're thinking. So you got that piece. Are you more apt to get an amazing review if you gave them those level of service? Or did you put a sign in the yard and it sold multiple offers the first day and it closed in 30 days? Yeah, they got a great price, but the seller probably perceives you didn't do anything. So the reality is having the whole package is going to not only give you the reviews at closing, but now you have a partner. You have somebody in your triangle. You knew it was coming up, Jake, in that triangle. Now they're at the top of the triangle. They're a advocate for your business, not just somebody you closed a transaction with. Everything we need to be doing with these people has to be geared towards getting them at that level of our business and our referral business.
Well, and if you think about it, most of us have gone to a listing appointment and left those people with a list of stuff to do. And they're probably working. They probably have kids. They probably have soccer and dance and whatever else going on. They don't all of a sudden have 40 hours to work on a DIY projects. So once again, stress and anxiety, all that crap that goes into this process from the client side, you're offering them solutions. They may not need them or want them. They may have a buddy who's an electrician. That's okay. But I'm telling you, it's so worthwhile to be able to offer solutions. Estate sale people, if you don't have an estate sale person or two that you know and trust, you're missing opportunities. And a lot of them are realtors too, but like Mayo and Scott Woodward on Main Street in Belton, if you refer them, they're not going to try to take the real estate business from you. So, but I'm just saying there's so much value. And then after the deal, do you want them going on ChatGPT or Google to find people to work on their house? Or would you rather have told them, hey, if you ever need something, I've got great people who I know and trust who have done work in my mom's house, and I would certainly trust them to help you out. Call me when you need something. Who wouldn't want your past clients calling you on a regular basis? I mean, that's just a no-brainer. So build that network, and if you need help, just shout at me. All right, so I have a question for the group, and Brandy, you might be a big part of this one. Lone Wolf. My TC really loved DocuSign. She really hates Dotloop, and she's wanting us to use Lone Wolf. Will we have support in the office for Lone Wolf as far as the documents and templates and all that stuff being in there, or is Dotloop still going to be our go-to?
Great question. So Dotloop is still going to be for the most part because I believe there's your team, Tony Doherty, and maybe one other that we're using DocuSign. Tony has switched over to Dotloop. So I do know that we have our documents in there, or they will be in there. But as far as like support, I think we can all learn it together. I know Caesar will be up for the challenge of learning it with you and helping and support you, but we may have to point you to some sort of KW support for Lone Wolf.
That's cool.
So
and I guess I'm sorry, when I say support, I mean, and Ashley's been pushing back on this a little bit. That's why I'm asking. So I mean more like in Dotloop, we have all the KW documents and stuff.
Yep.
Will those be put into Lone Wolf for those who want to use it? And will they be kept up with as they're updated and changed?
I believe, yes, that's a Caesar thing.
Okay.
It would be our tech trainer that we don't have. So by default, that would be
Sure.
Caesar. So I kind of thought they were already there. You can tell me if they're not. But I do believe he has set that up, and I do believe they're there. If not, let us know. But absolutely, yeah.
Cool. Okay. I'm just curious. I guess one of the biggest things for me working with seniors, and maybe you guys know a solution in DocuSign, if I had an 85-year-old couple who has one email address, they both could sign with two different we can send the documents to both of them in one email address. They can each sign through there. Dotloop, from what I understand, doesn't have that ability. And sometimes with some of the older folks I work with, it's a little more complicated. So that's, of course, I've got a lady who's going to be signing everything with a pin next week. So that's going to be fun. But that's one of the concerns that we're seeing with Dotloop, unless there's a solution we just don't know about.
Well, with Dotloop, the way I mean, I'm sure all of us have had that come up as well. You're right. You do have to have two different email addresses. That's how you prove it's two different people signing the documents. Sometimes we just help people create a Gmail account or something, a Yahoo account, something, whatever they're using. Just help them create just a generic account that they can get through the transaction with. That's how I've handled it in my business. I don't know how, but I mean,
Cool.
I don't. Yeah. Anybody
Same.
else? Same. Yeah.
Same?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we'll figure that one out then. I appreciate the information. So another question. This is going to be for some of our more seasoned guys, and we don't have any of our more seasoned ladies on here. Sandy's still here. So Josh, a few months ago was contacted by a young lady he went to school with, and her husband and her father have been they're investors, and they also have a construction company, so they remodel the homes and flip them, and they actually are under contract with Tom O'Connor with the property at 215th and Y, and they also have clients who own multifamilies, and they redo all the apartments and stuff. So Josh has been dealing with the daughter mainly because he went to school with her. They've got a home in Independence, which is finally under contract and hopefully closing soon. They bought another one in West Belton. They're flipping, and I spoke with the dad the other day for the first time because Josh is honeymooning, and he's telling me about all this business they're doing, and like they just bought that listing of that place of Tom O'Connor's, and they're doing some of the stuff without agents. And I'm like, hello, let me help you. So I talked to him. I said, if you guys are doing consistent business, we can talk about a little different commission structure and work something out with you to really be your go-to people. But I'm wondering, those of you who've had investors consistently, I know Brandon would be a good one for this, but she's not here. And I know that situation has changed. So if you guys have some experience with that, can you give me some insight, and then the rest of us, how you really build that relationship with an investor, and what you do is if you do change your compensation a little bit?
I'll jump in on this one. A lot of investors, they want a deal. And a lot of investors want 20 realtors looking for properties for them. They feel like that's better, so they don't want to sign with just one. And so bottom line for them is very, very important, but the value that you can provide to them, I think if you can show that to them, it may take a few transactions to do so, but to get exclusive with an investor or a developer, it does take some time. I don't like adjusting my commission structure because everybody has a dollar value on what their time is worth. And if you're spending a lot of time with somebody that wants to discount what your prices are, you've immediately sacrificed a lot of your time, and now you're making less money with that time. It doesn't really line up. It gets you out of balance with what your goals are. So what you want to work on is figuring out how much time that they would like of yours, and then figure out how that works commission structure wise. One of the things that we do and we give on is our admin fee. If we're going to do 10 transactions a year together, then I'm okay if I don't charge you an admin fee on every property that we buy and sell together. I can work around that because we've got some volume there. But what I won't do is work for 2%. I can't, and I'll show them how the numbers just don't work. And I tell them, I understand that you're going to make money on every house. We're going to make money on every house too, and that's our way. And some investors they politely decline or don't respond, and that's okay too, because I want to work with them.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else do a lot of investors? Nate, or you work with investors a lot, or I know you guys did your own.
He is the investor.
Yeah. So when you're working with investors, it's kind of eat what you kill. type scenario. So if you find a deal and bring it to them, you're their best friend. They'll be loyal to you on that particular property. And same thing for another agent who brings them a deal somewhere else, right? So I used to work with a lot of investors, and then it felt like it became disingenuous for me because if the deal's right, I would be consuming it. And so I just don't work with a lot of investors any longer purely for that reason. So
Gotcha. Okay.
the commitment level is tied directly to the value you bring to them, right? So like if you bring them the deal, they'll be committed to you on that deal, but they will not. My experience is they will not sign an exclusive to you, because they want to be able to accept another opportunity from another relationship that they have as well. So.
Gotcha. Well, I know he mentioned they try to get off market deals when they can, but like the one they bought in West Belton, they bought it off market, and when they went in there to work on it, the police showed up because the house was condemned because the previous squatters or whoever was in there took out uh, an important wall that was supposed to be there, so the house was no longer safe. So the city of Belton had condemned the house. So they delayed them a month and a half or 2 months getting that figured out and with the city and getting the permits to work on it. So that's kind of one of those things I thought, well, an agent maybe could have found more information out about that. Maybe not though, but maybe could have provided more value and saved you 2 months, however much that cost paying on that loan while they're in there. But but cool. Thank you for the information, guys. Anyone else have questions or thoughts about that?
I noticed the conversations are just different. I agree with Ryan. I cut my admin fee, but I try not to cut my commission on those unless it's on a deal where I don't want to make more money than they are, like on a certain deal. Like if they're giving me a lot of I've got one really consistent investor, and then I've got a couple that do some stuff. But if I'm making 15 grand and they made $2,000, that doesn't make them feel good. So sometimes I will cut, and that is very rare. I think I've done that once for them where I'll cut it down to 2%. But if I'm making 5 times what they are, then that relationship can kind of get a little, it's like, well, what are we? And again, that's on them. But if they're giving me 5, 6 deals a year and we're all making money, like I try to always bring it back to that. But if the more money they make, the more money that I make, kind of deal. But I have cut it once whenever they didn't make any money on a house. And I will say that they are sometimes demanding. They'll call you at 9 o'clock at night and things like that, and asking questions. Hey, what is this going to comp at? This thing just came up. Can you go look at it for me right now? Sometimes they like you to be kind of at their beck and call because they're giving you a lot of business. So I don't like to really cut my commission, but I will, especially after the relationship's established and I know that we're going to continue to do more. But again, I think I've done it on one deal.
See, I've even wondered about the idea of when I'm a little more ahead on my finances, the idea of investing with an investor, and I don't know, somehow, I don't know how that would work, but being more of a partner in the flipping business or rental business instead of just the agent, but I don't know, like I said, I don't know how that would work. But
so one of my guys gives me 5% on his deals because I'll help him manage some of it because he's out of town. So I'll help kind of go by I'm a little more hands-on during the transaction. So
gotcha.
I found that's just charge a little higher commission versus mixing the funds and all that stuff. That just seems to be a little cleaner.
Sure. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for that, guys.
So,
go ahead, Ash.
Something I notice everybody except for us basically pretty consistently with that. Do all of you guys charge admin fees separate to cover your TC paperwork, all of that? Or yeah.
Yeah.
Not to investors.
Do you do
Yeah,
that to everybody or just investors?
I don't charge investors or veterans.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll charge everybody except investors.
We charge admin fees across the board on everything, and the only time we'll waive that is possibly a high volume investor or some situation like that.
Are you guys all like 300 to 500 bucks on that admin fee?
$395 for us.
$3.99.
495.
Cool. Cool. Okay. I
And
I honestly quit charging it because
one thing, Paul,
it's
about us in admin fees, our ability for our agents to determine whether they choose, and by the way, it's your business. If you don't want to charge
right,
that or you waive it consistently, that's your business, just like anything else. Like Reese Nichols,
right.
for example, you are charged an admin fee if you don't charge it. So
Oh,
here,
wow.
it's just additional revenue to our business. At Reese Nichols, it's like, well, if I waive it, I'm paying it, if that makes sense. So I feel like we're
Gotcha.
really fortunate that we get to kind of pick and choose on those things. Um, Another thing that I think Shelby and I just had. By the way, is Shelby on here? I hope.
Yeah.
Shelby. Okay. But
Oh,
anyway,
thanks.
and
Yes,
Sandy
sir.
too. But Shelby was the most recent one. But you know, there are certain times in your business where things just go awry, and you do nothing wrong. It's just part of the deal. I went on a listing appointment last night that the people fired one of our agents however many years ago. Agent probably did nothing wrong. But of course, my guard's up. Like, how crazy are these people? But nonetheless, Shelby had every right to get a fee for her services. Her documents say she's earned the fee, all these different things. But what happened is she sensed the fact that these people were going to cause her more problems than chasing that fee was worth, if that makes any sense. And what I found, and this is something I want to share with this group, and I'll mention it at team meeting next time we have the big group there. But if we have these things in our agreement that says we earn a fee, like for the most common I see is listing agreements where a cancellation fee of $500 to help recoup for photography or whatever. That's the most common thing. But I will say this: I don't have that in my documents anymore. I did for years, because what I found is the situations where I was parting ways with somebody, in most cases, um, were of such that if I went to collect that fee, then I was probably going to get ripped on social media and things like that. My concern was, is that $500 or whatever it was worth the potential of the negativity? All it takes, as you know, is one or two bad people out there, and they can really set us back in our businesses. So for those of you that have any of those fees, think about that as well. Yes, I have that in there, but is it anything I really would collect or will collect? And then we also we have to be sure the way you're collecting it is valid. In other words, is that acceptable to the Missouri Real Estate Commission? Is it acceptable to our attorneys? Is it acceptable to our E&O company? Some different layers that are involved. But I would love to ask just a smaller group, is anybody have any of those fees built into their buyer and seller agreements? And if so, have you actually collected those?
I don't.
I don't.
No, I don't want to be in business with them anymore anyway, so we're good.
Right, right. Well, like I said, we did for years. And the only reason I did is because, one of the cool kids on the block back in the day, they had it in theirs. And I'm like, well, if they have it in theirs, she's no better. Kristen Moffer is no better than me. I deserve to have it in mine. And then it finally came down to how many times did I ever actually even pursue that? And, every once in a while on a listing, you might have somebody that gets 60 days in with you and then, hey, we're not going to take the job in Denver. I know you've put a lot of time and money in this. What do I owe you? And then you would just refer to that and go, hey, you owe me $595. And really that's just me recouping those upfront costs. And that's all copacetic and makes sense. But anytime it's anything other than that, I would go internal and really look, is that something I want to charge and actually go to the mat to collect? But Darren and I are going to review that. If I could ever get our attorney on the line, we're going to review kind of state of Missouri and how they're looking at those things, how we can collect it, how we can't collect it, some different things like that. Anybody else have that in their agreements?
Lonnie, Jake just nailed it in the comments, and that's where I was going to go. And one of the scripts I use is like, yeah, there's no hard feelings on canceling the listing. You're not moving to Denver. However, can you help me? And I need 2 referrals this year to help me with business. And you'll take a $595 fee that you waive or whatever it is, and you'll turn it into 20 grand in your business. And that's building relationships and doing more business. That's Jake. That's awesome right there, bud.
Well, I copied that from you, so I figured you'd like that.
No, I'm not taking
That was your
credit.
script.
I'm not taking credit. You put it in the comments. No, that's good. But come to my power scripts on Monday at 10. You'll learn more about it, right? No, but that's exactly what to do. How do we take a negative, make it two positives, right? And that's a
Yeah.
way to do it right there.
But like,
course,
back to my initial point, Shelby was such a professional. She had a person that was kind of emotional, and she just within about 30 seconds, she's like, "I don't need this in my life. I'm crushing it. I've had back-to-back $1 million months. What in the world would I want to get in the weeds with this crazy lady for over X amount of dollars?" And it was just one of those. And to me, that's just high-minded. That's thinking of your business on a much bigger term. Did she deserve whatever the fee was? Honestly, absolutely. She probably did all the work and those sorts of things. But is that really worth chasing in a successful business? One person bashing you on social media and really getting all worked up about something can cause so much havoc that all of a sudden you just really would, if you could then go backwards and go, "Hey, can I give you this money back?" And then you delete all that shit, you probably would want to do it. So be thinking about that. I'm surprised I have feeling we have a lot more people that have those fees in their agreements that are just not on this call, or we used to, and maybe they've done what I have and they've deleted them. But do think those things through. Certainly reach out to myself, Darren, any of us, Brandy, if you have those, and be sure that we have something that is enforceable. And then if it is, how are we going to collect it? That's kind of two layers. But I would caution each and every agent that if I'm going to add those, maybe you don't have them now, but you're thinking about adding them, just think about, would you even collect on that in most cases? That's all I got.
cool, cool. I was looking at the calendar, and October, well, I think October 3rd, somewhere around there, 3 months from now is our big fall client event thing out in Pleasant Hill. So it's probably not too early to give a save the date call or email to your clients if you intend to invite them to that. People get busy, and I I sent a couple of texts yesterday talking to people, and they're like, "Yeah, be sure to let us know." And I said, "Well, here's the date. Get it on the calendar. Get a babysitter." And so it's less than 3 months, and it's something to really think about. I think I had like 8 or 10 people last year, maybe more. I really want to get more people there. I mean, it, if the cost is similar to last year, it was $10 for us to invite people. That's pretty freaking cheap. Even if it's $15 this year, prices change. That's still pretty cheap with a meal, entertainment, and hopefully warmer weather, or the sides down on that barn or something this year. But it's only 3 months away. Don't wait till September 25th to think about inviting people. So, okay, it is $15, Brandy thinks. So,
I think so.
It'll
totally
be earlier too,
understandable.
so we're hoping for warmer weather. We got caught with a little cold snap last year, but I think we bumped
Yeah.
it up a couple weeks to try to buffer that and get a little bit better weather. It'll probably be 90 this year. You watch.
So a $15 event to get your clients
Mhm.
to plan ahead. Invite the people at the top of your triangle, if nothing else, because we all have to have a triangle. So not a pyramid, but so
Thank you,
invite people,
Paul.
and no problem. And
It's our sign. It's our
it's our little cult sign. So
yes.
make a triangle, drink the Kool-Aid. That's all you got to do. But no Jim Jones reference. So you got to be a certain age to know who that is. But so I just wanted to encourage you to think about that, plan ahead, and then if anyone have any other events, client events planned between now and then? I thought about trying to do one where kids can come, but I don't know what I would do. So, and I know if I reached out to Caulfield or somebody else, I could probably get help with the expenses, but I don't have kids. I don't even have grandkids, actually,
Pumpkin
Josh.
patch.
So,
Do a pumpkin patch, Paul. Invite them to the pumpkin patch, and get their admission paid by your vendor. That's an easy
yeah,
one.
that's about the same time frame though. That's where
Oh, I
I
gotcha.
was wondering about it in the summer thing,
Hey,
but I
Paul,
don't know. Yes.
right behind Becca, if everybody looks behind Becca right now, we're doing that drive for the school district for the kids
Ah,
back to school stuff. This is a great way to get in touch with your people and see if they can help us. People love to give, and it's an opportunity to connect, build relationships, and have a short conversation with people dropping stuff off here at the office. So reach out to your database on that. Get the flyer, send it out to them, make a few phone calls to the people at the top of your triangle and see if you can get referrals out of it as well. But it's a great way to build relationships. So have them bring stuff in and make a difference for our school districts.
Another level to that is call them up, send them that text, say, hey, I can stop by and get that from you. Duh. Why wouldn't you want an excuse to stop by and see some people? Obviously, you want people close by, so it makes sense. But even if it's just the top of your triangle, I had to bring that back again. So
Hey,
it's
Paul.
like Freddy Krueger. It's going to keep coming back forever and ever. So,
Hey, Paul,
yes,
do you
sir.
remember during COVID, they did the can drives and we couldn't do anything? So
Mhm.
we had bags that we had people set stuff on their front porch. Maybe
Yeah.
that's maybe we could circle back to that and you could do a Saturday pickup and would love to see you. If not, I'm swinging by between, 10 and noon and you can set stuff on your front porch. Let me know if you do and I'll swing by. Love to see you,
You
Paul.
know,
And then that's it, man. It's a super easy way to do it, but it's a great way to help the community and reconnect with your people.
Josh and I did a similar thing twice in different neighborhoods, experimenting,
Mhm.
collecting for the food pantries at the two different educational foundations. And we discovered the Cherry Hill neighborhood and what's it, Valley View right next to it gave a lot more stuff than the houses right there on Westover and Hargis and Stacy and all that. The higher dollar homes gave more stuff. Our flyer was all about the thing, except for the bottom third was all about us. So it just said, hey, here, we didn't drop off bags even because everybody's got bags and they want to get rid of them. So we just said, hey, put it on your porch this day. We'll come by between this time and pick them up. And we didn't get huge participation, but we had like 40 or 50 people fill the bed of my truck. So, and both times. So sorry, I declined a call. But yeah, you could do the same thing with this this drive. Um, and then another thing, we talk about these relationships with our top of the triangle people. Have you ever, when's the last time you maybe had lunch with a client that someone you liked? Meet them for lunch, meet them for dinner. We meet some for trivia every week. And my wife gets kind of sick of it, but it's still kind of fun. So, I have previous clients. We meet, we're our trivia team now. And sometimes it would be nice to swap some out who have some different knowledge. We don't have a good sports guru on our trivia team. So, but I
I've
mean,
got two newbies coming next week.
okay, but they're not sports people either. So, but
Yeah, well,
there's there are ways to meet people to get them, hey, you want to grab dinner? There's a new restaurant in Harrisonville now called Patsy K's or something, breakfast and lunch. Invite someone, a couple you did a transaction with, or an individual, whatever, and say, hey, want to check out this new place? I want to catch up, see how the house is working out for you. Then you might find out they need a plumber, and hopefully you got one you can refer to them, right? It all. So, but well, that's really all I got. We got 5 minutes. Who's got a question or something, or positive stuff to share?
Paul, I wanted to just throw a couple things out real quick, if that's cool.
Of course.
This is summertime. This is the time that more people get distracted than ever. And what I saw in the winter and the spring is I started seeing some people develop some habits. And then two things happened. Summer happened, which all the distractions, and in some cases also, which is good, they got busy. So now they're busy with summer, they're busy with some business, and then all of the activities and the habits that they started have had to be pushed over here. So, and by the way, there's no one person, there's dozens, okay, that are in that category. So we've got to get back to the habits and things that we know we need to do for these businesses. So if that's you or me, I'm raising my hand there. I just have to stop and do it. I got a little pissy last week because my time was limited. People were pulling at me in all directions, and I literally had blown off lead generation for about a week. I mean, as far as the way I like to do it. Then I got mad one night. I was in the office at 5:30, and I took it was about 10 to 12 people that I needed to follow up with in some level. And I just said, well, if nothing else, I'm sending them a flipping letter. So we worked out, I did a letter, sent them a letter, hey, just checking in, phone call away, all that stuff. And I get back from 4th of July and boom. And one of these people, and the first contact was back in October. they're like, hey, your letter was perfect and great timing. I think we're ready to sit down now. So boom, 15,000 in GCI now, all because I got pissy at 5:30 and sent an intentional letter out to the people. So we've got to be we've got to be thinking along those lines. That may not be your activity. It's just one of those dinosaur activities that works for me. And then the second layer of that is, it used to be in real estate that unless you knew a lot of people, it was very difficult to build a business. Okay. Unless you just had this I mean, if you have Shelby's personality, you can make anything work, right? But not all of us have that. So it used to be, if you didn't have a big sphere of influence, man, just getting traction in real estate was very difficult. Okay. And now the things that, like Paul and his videos and things, like, the excuses are gone. And you're like, well, I don't have any listings to market like Lonnie does. So how do I ever, create leads and people? By the way, I hear that defeated attitude from different people over the years, and those days are over. Now go do a free video on my $1.3 million listing, or a cool entry level listing that just hit the market. You have the ability to go out there and create this traction if you just get off your backside and get out there and do it. So, again, the excuses are gone. That's just anybody have a take on that?
Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest excuses that people don't post, whether it's on Facebook or send an email to people or make a video, is because they don't know what to say. You don't have to know what to say anymore. Ask ChatGPT what to say and verify that it's true and put something out. If you want it to be, I mean, I'll tell ChatGPT, dumb this down for like a 9th grade level, because people dumb who aren't real smart buy houses too. Then if I'm posting on LinkedIn, I'll say, make this CEO quality intelligence. Look for your people. But yeah, I think definitely excuses are eliminated unless you just don't want to do the work. So, but cool. Well, 10:59.
Paul, thank you so much.
Of course, I wanted to share. We did not get the hospital listing in Harrison County. Most of you are saying, where the heck is Harrison County? Bethany, Missouri. The board decided to auction the facility off in August. So if you know anyone who wants to buy a hospital at an auction, August 22nd. So it appraised at 1.7. They were hoping to get $1 million. So there you go. So I didn't get it, but it was fun thinking we might. It's kind of like buying a lottery ticket and thinking about what you might do if you win. We didn't sell the hospital, but it was kind of fun learning about it. And now I think I'd rather learn about land instead of commercial, but that's just my thought.
Is it an online auction, Paul, or is it an in-person type auction?
I don't know specifics. I just talked to the CEO and that's what she told me. And so I'm not sure how they're doing that, but they still have things in there till mid-August. So they've been, it's a lot to move all the stuff out of a hospital. So they got the people out pretty quickly. So now they're figuring out all the stuff and, where they're putting stuff. Because like the new place is getting the new hospital has all new equipment, new beds, new everything. So I don't know where you sell hospital beds. So that's what they're figuring out. But it was kind of fun learning about it, being inside the process a little bit. And but it's a bummer we didn't get it, but we tried. So
hey, they don't all pan out. And
Nope.
You know what? This could go to auction, and if they have a reserve and it doesn't get met, it could be, hey, maybe we have to pivot and go back to the Fyffe method, right?
Who knows? So,
Do you have
but
any investors that want to buy it? If you said it's going to sell for $1 million and worth 1.7,
I tried, we reached out to some potential people, but I didn't officially have it listed. So I didn't really want to put too much out there, too much effort into it. That I wouldn't necessarily get paid, and I didn't represent them yet. So, but we looked around, but we live and learn. So you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow or soon.
oh,
Great
See ya.
call, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Paul.
Paul.
Thanks, guys.